How's it going, guys? Wicked Wild is Dev here, back for another video. Today we're going to be doing, as I said last video, we're going to be doing the second part of this series, client versus server and scripts. Now, before we get into today's tutorial, I forgot to do something pretty critical last video. Because last video I assumed you already know how to use Roblox Studio and model avatars, has view filling. I basically just assumed you knew how to do all that. So this time we're still gonna go over client versus server and all that, but next video I will go through and tell you about Roblox Studio. And we won't be doing any, we won't jump into coding till probably episode 4. But so next episode, if you already know, oh, this is that, you can probably skip next episode. But yeah, next episode is going to be going through home, model avatars, test, all that, just so you know, and how to set things up. Alright, so if you don't already have it, then you go to view and explore to get all this. Basically everything in the game is under explore, which I'll go in deeper depth in the next video. But yeah, let's hop right into it. Alright, so first, client versus server. What's a good example for this? Alright, so client versus server. You see, every game has a client and a server, unless I think some single player games don't have it, but that's like outside of Roblox. All Roblox games have a client and a server. Basically, the client is all the players connected, what they see, what's for them, right? And then they send that to the server, and the server is like, okay, you're doing this, and then lets everyone else know, hey, they're doing this. So let's say I have a gun, I fired a gun, I go pew 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 pew. It says, my client says I'm aiming here and I'm shooting actively. So the server's like, okay, this person is aiming and shooting, and lets all the other clients know, oh, that. Alright? So if I were to drop in right now, as you can see, I'm moving around, WASD, blah blah blah. If my client wasn't telling the server, hey, I'm doing WASD, I am moving around, if there was another player in this game, they would just see me standing still, because the server doesn't know, hey, you're moving, and it doesn't know to tell them, hey, they're moving. Right. So basically, the client is what the players see, and the server's job is to inform the other players of what you're seeing and what you're doing. Right? And that's where we go into scripts. You have your normal scripts, of course, which are basically the server scripts. When you want something to happen on a server, you use the normal script, right? And we're going to be putting most of them in server script servers. But if you want something to happen for the player, then you'll have a local script. That's things that's happening there or side. So you can be like, hey, I want to, let's say you have a GUI number showing how much ammo you have in your gun, right? So a local script would be updating your GUI saying, oh, now you have this much ammo, oh, now you have this much ammo. While your server would keep track of the ammo you actually have. Now, while the local script just update you and says, hey, your ammo's at this. Alright? The reason we bounce from local to server is so it's fair, because if things were done on the client, it would make it easier for hackers to be like, or cheaters to be like, oh, I'm going to change how much health I have to 1 billion, and my gun's damage is now 50. Which is why things like those would be on the server, because the clients they can ask the server for things, but they can't directly do things themselves. At least is how it should be in most games, and how it is in most games. Inside the local script and the normal script looks pretty much the same. But for instance, we'll get into like variables and stuff like that later. But let's say I have a variable in my local script, which I'll dip into variables a little bit right now because it's relevant to what we're talking about. But when you do a variable in your script, you're going to 9 times out of 10 go local, and then put your variable in. So I'd be like local bonanza. Yep, I totally didn't forget how to spell banana. Local bonanza equals 7, which I could not theoretically, I could just do bonanza equals 7 instead of local bonanzas equals 7. But then that would be a global variable. So like, I couldn't have something called bonanza in this script because it would change all the bonanzas to be 7. Like I can have local bonanza equals 8 because as soon as the script fires, then even though bonanza should be 7, it's gonna change it to 8. But if both are local bonanza equals whatever, then bonanza for that script is going to equal what you want it to be, right? Which, yeah, we'll get into variables probably episode 4 we actually start getting into scripting. Alright, and then let's see, as I was talking a little bit about in last video, you have to replicate storage, replicate first, server script service, and server storage. Alright, server script service is where we're going to have the majority of our server scripts. Oops, just for organization's sake. Like, we could have them in the workspace, but it's better to have them all like in server script service, where you run the server scripts. Then replicated storage is going to be where we save a bunch of things we're going to reuse. So things we want to activate like remotes, we'll get into that too. I'm going to have all those into replicated storage. Replicated first we're not really going to use, but it is for the client. It's for all the clients. And for server storage, we're also probably not going to use that much, but we might use in the later down the line. Who knows? Storage UI is going to be a lot of local scripts in here, which is where I put that local script. Let me delete that. Let me delete this one too. Storage UI is where we're going to have the local script. Well, storage UI is going to be mostly local scripts, mostly GUIs and local scripts for said GUIs. We'll get into it as we do. Like I said, we'll get into it. There's going to be a lot of stuff we're just going to have to wait until we actually get into it. Starter pack is going to be mostly just server scripts, because they are tools and they go to the workspace onto the actual player's character. And then we want the server to control how those interactions go most of the time. And then we have player and character scripts. Player scripts are going to be local, character scripts are going to be, well, going to the workspace, so server. Alright, and And yeah, it's pretty simple. Shorter video today. I'll be sure to put out another video very soon, talking about everything you need to know for model, avatar, test, view. Yeah, because I just assumed you kind of do all that. Sorry, my fault, gangling. Anyways, like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more. Remember to always hit that like button. Bye.